everybody, this is Gretchen the Green Lady, and today I want to talk to you about a topic called watering. I know you think, oh my goodness, I know how to water my plants. But for those of you who have questions, I'm going to make it really simple. Let me start with my little begonia here. Now, what I like to do is look in the soil. I'm going to get real close here. This soil appears to be a little bit light gray, and what I'll do is reach in and see how crumbly this soil is. That means that it's dry. So what I need to do is poke my finger down into this soil and see if it feels dry further down in. If it does, it's time to water. However, begonias don't like to be real wet, and this container feels pretty heavy, so I may not be ready to water this quite yet, but that's a good way to check. Make sure you feel the soil. Here's my impatient. I'm going to touch the top of this soil, and right now I can feel moisture on my fingers, which means that if it feels wet at all on the top of your plant, it's probably wet down in the soil. Also, I can see that my seedlings feel damp on top. So go ahead and check the soil, poke your finger in there, and see if it's dry. Now also, you know how I am with tags. Read your tag. Your tag may say evenly moist, drier soil. It will tell you the condition that this plant, this flower, or most items that you purchase from the store will need. Now for succulents, they don't like it real wet. I had a Christmas cactus that I had to pull out of the container because it just wasn't doing well. Well, I saw that the bottom of the container did not have good drainage. So I had to make sure when I transplanted it, I put it in a container that did have good drainage. I saw that the water was setting in the bottom, causing my roots to rot. Now, what if your plant or your flower or whatever item you purchase doesn't have those directions on the tag? We have phones these days. Go ahead and research on your phone. Try to find the name of the plant. Research its growing conditions. Sometimes I will just ask a store clerk, because if I see something new that I haven't seen before, I'll say, hey, tell me about this plant. Again, if not, research, that'll be your best friend. Now, when you water your plant, make sure that you're watering it thoroughly. Let the water run through. I love to purchase the little clear trays that go beneath, because I can see how much water is coming through. I can see how much water my plant will absorb in several hours. If you have a large container, a very large plant, go ahead and let that water stay there for a good 4, 5, 6 hours. If you forget and the next day you see that water is still sitting, go ahead and empty that tray, especially if these are inside plants. If they're outside plants, just water them and let the water run through. Now I use those clear trays all over my deck, so if you don't want it to come through your plant and mess up wherever it sits, just get a clear one. All right, so let me summarize what we just talked about. Check your soil, look in the soil, touch the top of your soil in any of your plants. If it feels dry, go ahead and poke your finger down in there. If it feels wet on top or moist on top, it probably has enough water. When you water, make sure that you water and it will drain through, and then let your plant completely dry out before the next watering. 2 conditions will tell you if your plant is overwatered or underwatered. If you see it wilting, it could be underwatered. Check your soil. If you see it wilting, it could be overwatered. If your soil is very wet, stop watering your plant until it dries out. Make sure you check the bottom of your containers for good drainage, because that will be your saving grace on your flowers. So this has been Gretchen the Green Lady, and I hope that these watering tips will help you. And if you have any questions, don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Facebook. Go ahead and ask questions. I love questions. I just had a bunch of friends ask me questions about where to locate certain plants at certain times and what their lighting conditions are. So I hope that you enjoyed this and that you will go green and get out there and enjoy your gardening.